And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons.
Like and subscribe on the way and adore my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. Welcome back to Fanboy Fridays. Fanboys, we hope your day is going terrible. So, Bronny James actually came out and responded to some of the things that's been going on, especially the criticism towards him, and this was discussed on Gil'S Arena. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this clip.
Recently, Bronny did an interview with Joe Varden of The Athletic where he described his NBA experience so far, saying, quote, "I see everything that people are saying, and people think like I'm a fucking robot, like I don't have any feelings or emotions. I always try to just let it go through one ear and out the other, put my head down and come to work and be positive every day." So Bronny doesn't do interviews often, so it's interesting to hear him comment on this. He sees everything, like his pops. I take mental notes.
Everything.
On your chest.
That effing robot? Yeah, that's
I'm
let you know he fed up. He tired. He tired.
Yeah,
He's tired. Like, listen, I'm not an effing robot. All right, y'all. He's letting y'all know. Like,
person.
all right.
Not too much.
So do you understand Bronny's perspective on media coverage?
Yes, it's too much. They dragged it.
Yeah.
They dragged it. So he's a kid.
I know robot.
I like, it's understandable because, you know, yeah, you're famous, right? Your dad is famous. You've been famous since, you know, damn near you were born. And in a sense, you're watching 59 other players get grace.
Exactly.
You know, you got, you know, number one picks who can play through mistakes. No one's worried about it. No one's mentioned them, right? You got people behind me who's not in the league. You got people in the second round who making $12 million for the 3 to 4 years, and they haven't scored any buckets. They're in the G League, and everybody, for some reason, no one looks at them, and everyone's focusing on me and all my flaws, right? When I do good in this league, right? It's not the NBA.
It's not the NBA.
Right? Mm-hmm. But when I did bad down there, it's he can't even play in the G League, right? So it's like, he's sitting there like, the fuck is the point? Right?
And on paper, he's like done everything right. Like, he doesn't get in trouble. He seems like he's a great kid. Like.
All right, people. So we're going to hold up there. So once again, when it comes to the James family, it is amazing how often people have to bring up, oh, he's such a great kid. Oh, LeBron James is such a great father. We are talking about basketball. Hey, it's just basketball. It's just basketball. We're talking about basketball. So whether Bronny's a great kid or not, first of all, he's not a kid. But whether he's a great young man or not, irrelevant. Whether LeBron James is a great father or not, still not the GOAT. We don't care. But so, on a serious note, because every time this gets brought up, it's the same thing that people who cap for LeBron and by capping for LeBron are automatically required to cap for Bronny as well. They want to say, and this is what Gil was saying, well, nobody's worried about the other 50-something players drafted ahead of him, and you know, and they want to say, oh, well, he can't win for losing. You know, when he wasn't doing good in the G League, everybody was like, see, he's not even good enough to be in the G League. And now that and I think Gil used the word dominating the G League. That's a bit strong of a word. But now that he's doing well in the G League or better in the G League, people say it's only the G League. So what I want to talk about today, fanboys, this will be something good for you guys. You guys should sit down and take a seat and take this in. Peace in your life comes when you learn to accept the way things are. When you learn to accept what you cannot control, you will be at peace in your life. Now, an example of this, to some degree, is Michael Jordan. We never hear Michael Jordan come out and defend himself against the ridiculous comments that LeBron James apologists and fanboys make. Because I would argue, as far as Michael Jordan, I don't know Michael Jordan personally, but I would argue as far as his basketball career goes, Michael Jordan is very much at peace. Meaning, he felt like, you know what, I did what I did on the court. That speaks for itself. I can't control how people feel about it. And because I personally know that I gave everything I could, I accept where the chips may fall. There's nothing I can do. Michael Jordan knows there are a great many people who thinks he's the GOAT, as well as I'm sure Michael Jordan is aware that some people don't think he's the GOAT, as well as I'm sure Michael Jordan is aware that Unclutched Sports exists, and there's a whole campaign out to not only replace him as the GOAT, but to discredit his whole era of basketball and his career. I'm sure he's aware of these things, but he's not concerned because he understands you can't control people. All you can do is make your case on the court and let the chips fall where they may. But now this is regard in basketball as we're talking, but this is in life in general. Understanding what you cannot control, and you will be at peace once you accept the fact that you cannot control everything. So with Bronny James, Bronny James basically says, you know, he just tries to keep his head down and go into work with a positive attitude every day. As a matter of fact, I don't have a problem with anything Bronny said in that quote, except for the fact that he used the F word, which I think is, you know, like father, like son, you know, feeling the need to drop some swear words in a scenario where you know you're going to be quoted. I think it's ridiculous. But anyway, you know, his general response, I don't have a problem with. He says he takes the credit. Matter of fact, let me actually read the full quote, because on Gil'S Arena, they did not read the full quote. So, quote from Bronny James, and this is coming from CBS Sports. He says, "My first thought about everything is I always try to let it go through one ear and out the other. Put my head down and come to work and be positive every day," James said. "But sometimes it fuels me a little bit. I see that people are saying and he says, I see everything that people are saying and people think like I'm an effing robot. Like I don't have any emotions or feelings." Bronny James, that really doesn't matter. Hate to tell you that, but it doesn't matter. Your emotions and feelings. Says, "But I just take that and use it as fuel for me to go out, wake up every day and get to the gym early, get my extra work in, watch my extra film every day, get better every day," James said. "That's what Rob wants me to do as a young guy coming in, playing in the G League and learning from afar on the bench watching the Lakers play." So yeah, what Bronny James said in general, I don't have a problem with. You know, he says that he uses the criticism as fuel. I think that's potentially a good thing. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about learning to accept the way things are. So for people like Gil, who want to continuously bring up the fact that there's 55 There's 50 other players who don't get talked about like Bronny James. Let's deal with the situation as it is. There's two things wrong with the Bronny James situation. One is that his father set the expectations high by declaring his son was better than a lot of NBA players already. That's number one. Or one of the two things. The other thing is that Bronny James got the job because of his father. So when you take these two things at play, this is the reality of the situation. And you can't escape it. There's nothing you can do to escape it. That is the situation. People are going to look at you through those two lenses. One is people are going to say, hey, that's the guy who got this job because his father got him the job he wasn't ready for. And two, they're going to look at it through the lens of, well, his father said he was more than ready for this job, but it turns out that was a lie. You can't escape it. There's nothing you can do to escape those lenses that people will view this through forever, or at least until Bronny James proves everyone wrong, if that ever happens. In my personal opinion, that it's never gonna happen, and I'm not rooting for it not to happen. I'm just basing my opinion on how Bronny James looks on the court to me, and less about his actual skill level on the court, but more about his demeanor on the court. But yeah, so no matter what people in the LeBron James camp wish people would view it as, no matter how much they want us to just say, oh, well, he's just another 55th pick. He's not just another 55th pick. Now, the comment that LeBron James made about him being better than half the NBA, that was extra. Because LeBron James could have said nothing like that. LeBron James could have just said, hey, I'm going to get my son drafted. He could have just did it. Matter of fact, LeBron James didn't even have to say that. He could have kept all this as low key as possible. Now, Bronny James is his son, so there would be some scrutiny no matter what. But had LeBron James kept this as low key as possible, I guarantee there would be far less criticism. But we're going back to wanting your cake and eat it too. This is what LeBron James has wanted since he's been in the NBA. LeBron James wants to be able to do whatever he wants to do without suffering the consequences for those things. Without accepting the reality of the things. LeBron James, you used your power to get your son in the NBA. You set expectations high by saying he was better than a lot of NBA players already. There is nothing you can do to undo that now. There's nothing you can do to escape it. You have to live with what you did. And you have to suffer what comes with it. And you have to accept it. But not only do you have to accept it, Bronny James has to accept it too. People keep referring to Bronny James as a kid, and to a lot of us older generations, yeah, he's a kid, but not really. Bronny James is what, 20, 21? He's not a kid. And what I mean by that is two things can be true at once. Bronny James at that age is probably what am I trying to say? He's probably still heavily influenced by his father. He probably still looks to his father to help him make life decisions. He probably still cares about his father's opinion of him to the degree that he can be influenced heavily by his father. Now, that two things can be true. That can be true, but it is also true that no matter, even if that's the case, even if this is more about LeBron James than Bronny, even if Bronny let LeBron James put him in a situation that is going to be very difficult to navigate. The fact is Bronny James is a grown man. He accepted it, and he can't escape the consequences of it. He can't escape what comes with it. So just like LeBron James has to deal with the fact that there's going to be criticism based on how you got your son in the NBA and what you said about your son as far as expectations before he got in the NBA. LeBron James has to accept it, and Bronny James has to accept it. But we all know, for LeBron James, this is something he's never been able to do. Is accept reality, take accountability, take responsibility for what he does. This is something that he's never been able to do. And all you have to do is follow. If you follow his career, you can see that this is the case, because this whole unclutched sports propaganda machine, with the whole purpose of trying to make LeBron James the GOAT. This is case in point of LeBron James not accepting. This is case in point of LeBron James, in my opinion, this is case in point of LeBron James knowing he didn't do everything on the basketball court that he could be at peace with. Because if LeBron James did everything on the basketball court, if he actually put in the work on the basketball court, if he actually did everything in his power to improve every facet of his game possible, we wouldn't see an unclutched sports campaign to make him the GOAT. We didn't see this with Kobe Bryant. Because again, Kobe accepted the fact Kobe could live with himself because he knew he put in the work. And so after that, whatever people think about that, that's none of my business. I played basketball for the love of the game. I know I didn't cheat the game. I know I put in all the work as I possibly could, and I truly left it all on the court. So what people think of that is none of my business. If LeBron James could just accept what people think of him based on how he went about his career, we would not have unclutched sports trying to influence people. LeBron James, you have to accept that you made super teams and people are going to view that a certain way. You have to accept that you flopped most of your career and people are going to view that a certain way. You can't escape it. The other day, when I was making my little short on what Mace said, and I was looking for clips of LeBron James, do you know there are not only flopping compilations about LeBron James, but there are quitting compilations of LeBron James? Let me say that again. For anybody who may not have heard what I just said, because we all know about the flopping compilations. We all know about the not playing defense compilations. But do you know there are quitting compilations of LeBron James, someone who's supposedly in the GOAT conversation? I tell you what, there are no quitting compilations on Michael Jordan. There's no quitting compilations on Larry Bird. There's no quitting compilations on Magic. There's no quitting compilations on Kobe, no matter how much you fanboys try to bring up I can't even think of what series it is, but it's the one series that Kobe constantly gets criticized for so-called quitting. But I tend to believe him when he said, Phil Jackson kind of chastised him during the timeout and said, hey, you got to trust your teammates or this is not going to work. And so Kobe decided to not shoot and try to get his teammates involved. I tend to believe that because this is something that we've never seen Kobe not shoot like that. So I would tend to believe that there was a reasoning behind it that wasn't quitting. But we all know the one series that Kobe gets criticized for so-called quitting. But again, even if you want to bring that up, there are no quitting compilations on Kobe Bryant. There are quitting compilations on LeBron James, who's supposedly in the GOAT conversation, who's supposedly at least number 2 all time, who's supposedly you just must not know basketball if you don't have him in the top 5. That is just blasphemy. That is just that is just unbelievable. There is no way he could not be in the top 5. And if some of you people well, those who know. Like I said, for me, he's not top 10. Possibly further down than that. But yeah, this has been the career of LeBron James. It's not facing reality, not accepting that your actions have consequences and there's nothing you can do to avoid them. There's nothing you can do to rewind time and change people's perception once you make certain decisions. Once you left Cleveland after saying quite a few times that you would never leave Cleveland, it's not the same when you come back. And that's why everybody I meet from Cleveland has this bittersweet relationship with LeBron James. But they don't have that ultimate respect that you would think that someone from Ohio would have for LeBron James. But anyway, I could go on. But like I was saying, this is really a situation of Bronny James, LeBron James. You got to accept what the situation is. It's Gil'S Arena. Everybody who is capping for Bronny and talking about, he shouldn't be getting as much criticism as a 55th pick. You know what it is. Like, come on. Let's stop pretending. Like, stop being disingenuous in your arguments. Like, you know what it is. It's the rich kid syndrome. Like, you all know, especially if you went to public schools, that the rich kids got pointed out. Like, everything was handed to you. We've all been on a job at some point where we know someone who got ahead, not based on their qualifications, not based on their work ethic, but simply because they were friends with the boss. So they were the son of the boss or the nephew of the boss. We all know what comes with those situations. And so LeBron James, you decided to give your son a job, and you didn't just leave it there. You decided to also tell everybody that he was more than qualified for this job. So you can't escape it. You got to deal with it. Again, nobody's rooting for Bronny to fail. Nobody hopes Bronny fails. But at the same time, we can't sugarcoat what the reality is. This is all LeBron James. This is all what happens when you create this kind of situation. There's no escaping it. The only thing that you can do, the only thing that Bronny James can do is work and try to prove everybody wrong. Again, this is what every athlete has had to do, though. This part of it is not unique. There is a reason Bronny James, as the 55th pick, gets criticized. We know the reasons. But an athlete getting criticized, this is not unique. And the difference is, you know, Larry Bird has been criticized. Magic Johnson has been criticized. Isaiah Thomas has been criticized. Michael Jordan has been criticized. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Reggie Miller. The difference is some athletes get criticized and they prove everybody wrong. They say, "Oh, you criticizing me for this? Let me work extra hard and give you a reason to not have that criticism anymore." Or they don't, and that criticism follows them forever. And they, a lot of times, never accomplish what they want to accomplish because the criticism, just like everything in sports, is just another obstacle. That's all it is. It's another obstacle to either overcome or let it overcome you. And this is what sports is all about. This is why Michael Jordan is the GOAT. The king of overcoming. Anyway, we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What did you think of Bronny's response to criticism? What did you think of what Gil was saying? Once again, he said this many times, trying to act like it is just so unbelievable that a 55th pick is getting all this criticism, ignoring that there are reasons why he's not just the 55th pick. Let's stop there. Let's stop with this. He's not just the 55th pick. He's LeBron James' son. He's LeBron James' son who got hired because he was LeBron James' son. And he's LeBron James' son who came into the league with his father telling everyone he was better than a bunch of players in the league already. These are the circumstances. This is the full story. He's not just the 55th pick. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.